Hey guys, it's Vicky, and today I'm here for another accountability video. Whoa, sorry. Like 2 seconds ago when I started this video, it wasn't snowing, and now it's snowing. Like, weird. Anyways, okay. I'm here for another holding myself accountable video, aka a book haul revisit. So if you guys haven't seen one of these videos before, it's sort of this thing I do on my channel where I go back and visit old book hauls to see if I've read the books that I've been purchasing. So what I do is I watch the video and see how many books I've read from that haul, how many I haven't read, and if there were any unhauls or DNFs. And then from the unread pile, I pick one of those books and put it on next month's TBR. And in the rare occasion that I've read them all, which has happened, I have all the books from previous book haul revisits grouped together on my bookshelves, and I will just pick one of those. So today we're going to be looking back at December 2019 to see what I purchased and see how it went. Have I read the books? Have I not? Let's find out. Hey guys, it's Vicky, and today I'm here to share with you a book haul. And you know, it was my intention to not have any more book purchases for the rest of the year, but then Book Outlet had their Black Friday sale, so I had to take advantage. So I bought some books from Book Outlet, and I'm going to share them with you now. So the first book that I picked up is Gun Love by Jennifer Clement, and I totally put this book on my TBR originally because I believe it was Chris over at Chris's Bookish Cauldron. I remember him talking about this book, and it just really intrigued me. Oh, my kitty cat is right here, and she jumped in the Book Outlet box. So just ignore her if you hear her messing around here. It deals with a young girl who, with her mother, they jump in their car and they move to Central Florida, and they are living in their car in the parking lot of a trailer park. And it's kind of about the people that they meet within this community, but then kind of on the back burner, it deals with the whole gun issue in this country. Hence the title, I believe, Gun Love, because a lot of the people that they meet in this community are avid supporters of the Second Amendment, people that own guns for various reasons, and then something happens to kind of shake this girl's world. Okay, so I'm gonna stop it there. I read Gun Love last year, I think, and it was one of my favorite books of the year. It was a 5-star read. I absolutely loved it. It had such good writing and just such a really good story with great themes, really interesting characters, and yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So I actually want to read more Jennifer Clement because of that book. I have a couple of her books now on my TBR. I don't own them, but they're, you know, on my radar. So yeah, that is one for the red pile. Okay, so then the next two books are kind of, one's definitely a horror novel. The other is maybe like a horror thriller, maybe? Anyways, so the first one is The Hunger by Alma Katsu, and this is one that I've just kind of seen everywhere, and somebody recently, gosh, I can't remember who it was, but somebody recently just reviewed this book and like loved it and gave it like 5 stars and said it was amazing, and I cannot think of who it was. It's gonna drive me nuts. Anyway, so this deals with the Donner Party in the 1800s, which is like an actual thing, but I believe this is a like fictionalization horror, kind of more horror sort of take on that whole situation. So it deals with the Donner Party and how they had depleted rations, they were starving, people were disappearing, getting sick, like everything, and it kind of, people start to kind of turn against each other, and yeah. I've heard that this is an amazing horror novel. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I read The Hunger, was it this year or was it last year? I can't remember. I have read it like probably in the last year or so, and it ended up being, I think, a 3-star read for me, mainly because although it had some creepy elements and some good horror, and I did like the sort of historical aspect of it, I think the pacing was a little weird. It was kind of slow paced. It took a while to kind of get going. So it ended up just being a 3-star read, but I did enjoy it. It was a good one. It was actually one that we read for the Random Reads Book Club, and so it was one that a lot of people took part in, which was cool. So yeah, that's another one on the red pile. And then the other one I got that's kind of like a horror thriller, this one's probably more in the vein of You by Caroline Kepnes, is Perfect Days by Rafael Montes. This deals with a guy who, he is, you know, a loner, lives with his mother, and he one day kidnaps this woman because he's intrigued by her, I guess. He kidnaps her and takes her across the country and ends up in Brazil. And it's just kind of that, it's like you're just kind of traveling with this psychopath and this woman that he's kidnapped. So so I read Perfect Days, and I think I read it for the Reading Rush last year, I want to say. And it also ended up being a 3-star read overall. I can't remember what it was exactly that made it just, you know, a 3-star read, because the story was interesting, but I think, I don't know, maybe it felt like it was slow paced or something, but I just know it didn't like wow me as much as I thought it would. I was going into it kind of expecting another You type of story, and though it did have those elements, it didn't quite hit like You did. So yeah, it was a 3-star read. It was good. Yeah, I read it. And next up is probably the cutest little book I've ever seen in my life. When I pulled it out of the box, I just laughed because it's just so cute. Look at this little thing. This book is Fox 8 by George Saunders. So to give you a comparison, like this is how little it is, and it's just so cute. I can't get over it. But anyways, I totally picked this up. This is a short story that I picked up because I just finished reading George Saunders' short story collection, 10th of December, and really liked it. And so I wanted to read more of his stuff. So this one was on Book Outlet, and it sounded really interesting. It is told from the perspective of a fox who is kind of the dreamer of his, what is it? It's not a tribe, is it? Of his pack. There you go. That's the proper word. And his pack is, they're kind of in trouble because this new shopping mall is going up where that's going to be like blocking off their food supply, and he's you know, trying to save his pack. I read Fox 8 and I loved it. It was so good. It also, I wish I could pull it down really quick, but I'm not going to because I'm lazy, but it had some really cute illustrations in it as well to kind of go along with the story, and that just really kind of heightened the experience for me. It kind of read like a fable or like a sort of fairy tale sort of thing. And it just had a great storyline. It had some really great themes just about habitat conservation and things like that, and consumerism, capitalism, kind of from an animal's perspective. And so it was really good. I think I gave it 4 stars, really enjoyed it. And yeah, once again, George Saunders, I really liked that book and would love to read more of his stuff. So yeah, that's now 4 on the red pile. I haven't had an unread book yet, you guys. This is going very well. And next I picked up a book that is a middle grade book that I'm probably going to save for middle grade March, and it's one that I've heard so much about that I finally was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. That book is Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. I made a little mistake when I bought the book. I accidentally bought the large print edition. Oops. So yeah, the print is very big, but that's okay. It's fine. So yeah, this is a middle grade book that so many people have talked about and have said that they really enjoyed, that they've compared it to Harry Potter and all that. So I figured I'm gonna give it a shot. The second book is already out. What was that one called? Wondersmith or something like that. But it's about a young girl named Morgan who is cursed, and basically her town blames her for like every bad thing that happens. And also she is supposed to die on her 11th birthday, I believe it is. Yes, she is doomed to die on her 11th birthday. But then this guy, Juniper Jupiter, let's get it right. Jupiter North appears and takes her to this magical land called Nevermore. And to stay there, she has to kind of go through these trials and these like difficult tasks to be able to stay. So it deals with that, and it does sound really cool, I have to admit. So I did read Nevermore and really enjoyed it. I loved the whole sort of contest element of it, the sort of games, trials that she had to go through. I loved Jupiter North. He was a great character, and I have yet to read the second book. I really, really need to, because it's been a while now since I've read Nevermore, and I feel like I'm gonna start to forget things if I don't read it soon. But yes, I really enjoyed that one. Would definitely recommend it if you're into like middle grade books with like magical sort of elements and like different worlds, magical worlds. It's a great one to pick up. So yes, another one for the red pile. And then the last fiction book that I picked up is Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfield. I have never read Diane Setterfield, but I've heard good things about her writing. This one, again, is one that I've heard a lot of people talk about this past year. A lot of people have read it, and I feel like mostly the reviews have been good that I've seen, so I decided to pick it up. And it deals with this man and this little girl who show up at this inn one day. They believe that the little girl is dead, but then hours later, I believe, she comes back to life. They have no idea who she is, who the man is that's with her, and she cannot speak or anything like that and tell them who she is. And so they're trying to figure out who this little girl is, where she came from, and how it is that she came back to life. So okay, we finally have one I have not read. So yes, I have not read Once Upon a River, but I still definitely want to. I think it still intrigues me, and I want to give Diane Setterfield a try. So yeah, I definitely want to pick that one up. So we finally have one for the unread pile. So if you're tallying things up, we have 5 read and 1 unread. This is going great. I was right. So then the last 2 books that I picked up are nonfiction books, and the first one is Songs of the Doomed, The Gonzo Papers Volume 3, More Notes on the Death of the American Dream by Hunter S. Thompson. You know I love me some Hunter S. Thompson. So yeah, this is just more of the same with him, basically. This one, though, it sounds like it spans from stuff that he's written from 1950 to 1990. So there is stuff from Hell's Angels in here. There's stuff from, I'm assuming, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. There will be little snippets of that in here. His various writings about like presidential elections and things like that throughout that time. So yeah, it's just more of Hunter S. Thompson's commentary on America and our political system and all of that good stuff. Okay, there's another one I haven't read, but obviously I want to read all of Hunter S. Thompson's work because as a journalist, he was just a revolutionary type of person, iconic person in the profession. And though he was crazy and, you know, had quite a reputation for just being just crazy and did a lot of like weird stuff, his writing I really do love, and just his style of reporting is just one that I just really enjoy and respect. So I definitely really want to read that one because I have a couple of his still unread on my shelves, and I'm trying to read them in publication order because they do tend to be chronological in terms of news events and things like that. So yeah, okay. We got 2 for the unread, 2 for the unread. And then the last book that I got is another nonfiction, and it's called All That Remains, A Renowned Forensic Scientist on Death, Mortality, and Solving Crimes by Sue Black. I picked this up because it just sounds really fascinating. Sue Black is a forensic scientist, and this book is like part memoir because she talks about like the first time she dissected a body. So it's just like deals with things that she's dealt with in her career, and also she gives you a lot of information just about I identifying bodies and just death in general, which is very morbid sounding, I know, but to me, it's also very fascinating. So this will probably be a great read for Nonfiction November next year. Okay, so I did read All That Remains. I think I ended up reading it last October or November, and it was good. It was a good story. There was a lot of great information about just, yeah, the forensics behind identifying bodies, especially in mass death events like she talked about in that book, like when she had to go overseas after a huge tsunami hit and try to, you know, identify all of the people that died in the event and just stuff like that. Missing people, like John Doe type of people and things like that. It was very interesting. I think I gave it, I want to say I gave it 4 stars. It was pretty good. And it was, yeah, it was fascinating. So I really enjoyed it. So that's another one for the red pile. Okay, so that means I had, what did I have in that one? I had 8 books. I read 6 and didn't read 2, which is pretty good, you guys. That's awesome. So I'm gonna grab the 2 that I didn't read and pick one of them for my January TBR. I'm gonna be kicking off 2022 with a book haul revisit book. Okay, so this is kind of a tough decision because when I picked up Once Upon a River, it was giving me, for some reason, it was giving me wintry vibes. I don't know if it's because of the cover, even though it doesn't really have a wintry cover, but the story was giving me winter vibes. So this would be a good time of year to read this. But I also really haven't visited a Hunter S. Thompson collection in a while. And I feel like it's time to go gonzo again with HST, especially since I have a couple more waiting to be read on my shelf that I don't want to read until I've read this one. So I think I'm gonna go with Hunter S. Thompson. I'm gonna go with Hunter S. Thompson. So this should be a fun read. His books, as much as I love them, I do tend to take them in small doses. It will probably take me like the whole month to read this because, let's see, how long is this one? It's about 350 pages, but just the way it's kind of sectioned off and everything, it's one that you can just read a little bit at a time and it works out. And that's probably how I'll do it. So yeah, I have my first book for my January TBR, how I'm gonna kick off 2022. Not a bad way to do it, with a good, solid nonfiction book that I know I'll enjoy. So yeah, not a bad way to start the year. So there we go. I chose it. Let me know if you would have chosen this one or if you would have chosen Once Upon a River. If you've read either of these, let me know what you thought of them because I would love to know. Who knows, maybe I'll still tack on Once Upon a River at some point this winter just because, like I said, it is, for some reason, to me, it seems like a wintry book. So yeah. All right, guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this little trip down memory lane. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. So I hope you guys are having a great week and I will talk with you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.